Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Kara, and I am with the LTAP Center here at ODOT, and I will be your host for this webinar. Today's webinar is day 4 of the Veteran and Small Owned Business webinar series, Navigating Ohio's Small Business Journey. And we're thrilled to have many knowledgeable presenters here to share the importance of mentorship and fostering positive relationships to help small businesses thrive in Ohio. They will address concerns and challenges and explore strategies for building sustainable relationships and partnerships for mutual benefit. Before we begin, I'd like to cover a few housekeeping items to ensure a smooth webinar experience for everyone. If you have any questions during the presentation, please use the questions panel on your screen. You can type your questions there and we'll address them during the Q&A session. If you're experiencing any technical difficulties or have any other issues, feel free to use the chat panel to communicate with our team and we'll do our best to assist you. Please note that this webinar is being recorded and will be made available to all registered attendees after the session. All right, with that out of the way, let's get started. It's my pleasure to hand it over to Lorraine Stevens. Lorraine, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you. So again, thank you so much, Kara. I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Lorraine Stevens. I am an outreach manager for Central and Southeast Ohio for the Ohio Department of Transportation in the Division of Opportunity, Diversity, and Inclusion. I will be your host for today's series. Welcome again to Series 4, Forging Alliances, Cultivating Connections with Mentorship and Fostering Positive Relationships. So this topic encompasses mentorship, workforce partnerships, and building advisory teams while highlighting the focus on small business growth. So Abram Andrews is out sick today. He will not be attending today, and we wish him a speedy recovery. So let's go ahead and start our presentation. So our first presentation discussion is with a one-on-one conversation with Micah Flanagan and Musa Muhammad. So Micah has more than 20 years of professional experience in the public and private sectors. Her experience in human resources and grants administration led to her interest in the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Supportive Service role at ODOT. In her role, Micah assists DBEs with resources such as mentor-protege programs, online and in-person training, and supportive service program and the OJT program. She graduated from The Ohio State University with a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration and a Master's of Arts in Public Policy and Management. So Micah's passion lies in helping people achieve their full potential, enjoys working in the public sector and spending time with her family and friends. We will also have Musa Muhammad, the visionary founder of CEO of Road to Finish, LLC, and stands at the forefront of transportation engineering. So holding a civil engineering degree from the Ohio State University, Musa brings a wealth of experience in the construction management realm. So RTF, a DBE and SBE certified firm, which was established in 2021 and specializes in construction, inspection, testing services, including concrete, asphalt, aggregate testing, serving both public and private sectors. So Musa's journey is marked by extensive experience in heavy highway road construction, particularly highlighted by the tenure in ODOT District 6 and 7 Planning Department. So this background, coupled with his private sector accomplishments, positions Musa in a leader committed to excellence and construction management. So RFT's success surpasses its size and minority-owned status. Notable milestones including securing a sub-opportunity with WSP for the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor project in ODOT District 8. And then also just many more Prime AE. He worked with sub-opportunities with them. And then despite their size, the firm's transformative projects significantly contributed to the enhancement of regional and national transportation corridors. So MUSA is unwavering committed to excellence in RTFs. A successful track record firmly positions the company as a trusted and innovative player in construction management. The impactful projects undertaken by RTF underscores its ability to navigate complex construction projects, solidifying its reputation as a trailblazer in the industry. Welcome, Micah and Musa. The floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. And I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Micah Flanagan. I work for ODOT and lead the Mentor Protege program and have been working with Musa a lot over the last maybe, I don't know, what has it been, Musa, maybe 2 years. I'm briefly introducing myself, and I'm going to turn it over to Musa for an opening statement, and then we can talk a little bit more about the Mentor Protege program and have a discussion. I'll have a discussion with Musa.
Sounds great. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be here today as part of ODOT's Veteran and Small Owned Business webinar series. My name is Musa, CEO of Road to Finish, a certified DBE and SBE specializing in construction management services. Our journey, like many small business, has been one of perseverance and growth, driven by a commitment to delivering excellence in the field. Through our participation in ODOT's Mentorship Protege program and the support of valuable partnerships, we've been able to build a solid foundation and expand our reach. Today, I'm excited to share some of the lessons we've learned along the way and highlight the importance of relationships, resilience, and determination in achieving business success. I hope our story will inspire you as you navigate your own paths.
Great. Well, thanks, Musa. So just a little bit of information about the Mentor Protege program. I like to, if people are interested in the Mentor Protege program, we like to ask that you are in business for at least 1 year as a DBE, and then you can perform work on heavy highway construction and engineering. So those are the companies that are best suited for the program. It's ODOT's core business. And so typically what we do is try to pair a company that's been around a while and has navigated the ODOT system through as a prime or even as a sub to mentor the protege, the DBE company. And then what we do is meet every quarter and set goals and timelines and just kind of talk about, where the protege or the DBE protege is and where he or she wants to be to get to the next phase in the company, that set goals and see where, they can get to next. And we monitor everything and just make suggestions and look at ways to improve. So let's see here. We focus on critical business skills and also, bidding on projects or looking at the programmatic if you're a consultant or a contractor, looking at bidding on projects as well. And then we also focus on business development too. So we have CEI currently. They're performing, they're on a contract with us to offer DBEs some business development assistance. So they can help with that as well. Let's see here. Usually we have companies might know of a mentor already, but other times they might need suggestions. So we can work with ACEC, our engineering organization, and they may give us some suggestions, or OCA, the Ohio Contractors Association, they may have some suggestions, or just I'll work with our Office of Outreach, and they also have some good ideas to partner people up together. So sometimes the DBE knows of a mentor and we can see if it's a fit, because sometimes it isn't a fit, sometimes it is. It just kind of depends on the goals and then the line of work that the DBE is doing and wants to perform, working as a prime or a sub for ODOT. Let's see here. I think that's pretty much it. Before we have the DBE get started in the Mentor Protege program, they fill out an application kind of telling us about the business and then, you know, goals and things that they want to get better with in the company, with their company, and improve upon. So then we set goals in that first meeting and just monitor how things are going. A lot of times, if the company is a consultant, they have to obtain an overhead rate, and there's a lot of things that ODOT can help with as well. I will connect the company with representatives at ODOT, and then we can help with that too. If they want to meet, the company wants to meet with district representatives, we can do that too. So Musa, I thought I'd ask you a couple questions and we can talk about your experience in the program. So what was the best part of your mentorship opportunity with ODOT so far?
Great question. The best part of the mentorship opportunity with ODOT was not only the technical support, but also the doors that they opened for us through the invaluable workshops and networking events. One of the pivotal moments in our journey was attending the ODOT Kentucky Brent Spencer Bridge Corridor Project Network Meet and Greet, an event that brought together DBE firms, prime consultants, and contractors. This $3.6 billion project has captured the attention of the entire industry. And it was an honor to participate in these network opportunities, which allowed us to connect directly with key players in the field. As a DBE firm, the chance to engage in one-on-one meetings with prime consultants and contractors was invaluable. This event was a platform for us to showcase our expertise, highlight our unique capabilities, and ultimately forge new partnerships. Thanks to ODOT's efforts in hosting such events, we were able to build relationships that led us to being awarded a sub-consultant role on this major project. What made this journey truly special was the sense that ODOT generally had our back, the unwavering support, not just in the technical aspect, but in providing these critical networking opportunities was instrumental to our success. ODOT made it clear that they were rooting for our success. And through events like the Brent Spence networking meet and greet, we had the opportunity to step up and demonstrate what we could do. The combination of mentorship, resources, and networking events helped us to showcase our firm expertise and capabilities, which ultimately led to securing a key role on a monumental project. It's through initiatives like these that DBE firms can thrive, and I am sincerely grateful to ODOT for helping us build that relationship that have propelled Road to Finish forward.
Right, and the prime that you worked with, they made some suggestions too, I'm sure. You met people through them as well as the ODOT events that we have. So what did you learn in the Mentor Protege program? What were some top things that you learned?
In the Mentor Protege program with ODOT, we discovered that growth comes from embracing both guidance and challenges. We learned essential skills for navigating the public sector, such as crafting compelling letters of interest, LOIs, and mastering the IPS, which is the invoicing procedures for services. Our mentor helped transform these complex tasks into straightforward processes, showing us how to align with ODOT standards effectively. This program taught us that success is a journey of continuous learning and adaptation. By applying these insights, we've been able to streamline our operation and enhance our ability to meet ODOT's expectations. The experience has been a pivotal to our growth, demonstrating that with the right support and commitment, we can turn challenges into opportunities for excellence and success.
Great. And then what advice would you give to new companies just starting out?
I like that question. To new companies embarking on their journey, I offer this guidance: embrace every challenge as a stepping stone and invest in building strong relationships. Success in business often hinges on the connections you make and the resilience you show in navigating these initial hurdles. First, focus on understanding and meeting the industry standards and regulatory requirements. This may seem daunting, but mastering these fundamentals will set a strong foundations for your operation. Engage with programs and resources like the Mentor Project Program, which provides invaluable insights and support. Secondly, prioritize networking and collaboration. Attend industry events, workshops, and networking opportunities to build relationships with key players and potential partners. These connections can open doors to you. These connections can open doors to new doors, opportunities, and provide support when you face obstacles. Lastly, never underestimate the power of continuous learning and adaptability. Stay informed about industry trends, seek feedback, be willing to adjust your strategic strategies as needed. This proactive approach will keep you competitive and resilient in a dynamic market. By approaching business with these principles, commitment to excellence, relationships building, and adaptability, you'll be well positioned to thrive and achieve long-term success.
Awesome. So what are some things you want to do next with your company? You've completed the Mentor Protege program. I mean, I've seen Musa from the beginning to now, and it's just been awesome to see your growth. So what's next for you?
As we look into the future of Road to Finish, our focus is on scaling our growth through strategic networking and deepening our trust within this public, by getting more trust with the public sector. We are dedicated to enhancing our role in construction administration and management by building strong, lasting relationships with public agencies and industry partners. Our next steps involve actively engaging in industry events, workshops, and networking opportunities to expand our professional connections. By showcasing our expertise and proven track record, we aim to open doors to larger and more impactful projects that align with our mission and values. Additionally, we are committed to reinforcing our reputation for reliability and excellence by consistently demonstrating our capabilities and maintaining high standards. We will continue to build trust and credibility in the public sector. This approach will not only drive our growth, but also contribute positively in the development of significant infrastructure projects. In summary, our vision is to leverage strategic networking and trust building to propel Road to Finish to new heights, ensuring sustained success and meaningful contributions to the industry.
Great. So were there any frustrations with the Mentor Protege program? You can be honest, it's okay.
One of the biggest challenges we faced was securing the necessary insurance coverage. As a small business, navigating this required us to work with 8 different insurance agents. Each step was a test of our patience and perseverance. Despite the frustration, the journey taught us invaluable lessons as it was trust test of our resilience. And by refusing not to give up, we ultimately secured the coverage we needed. The experience not only strengthened our business, but also reaffirmed our belief in the power of determination and adaptability. Our success in overcoming this hurdle stands as a testament to our commitment and ability to tackle complex challenges, turning obstacles into opportunities to grow.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you had challenges, I didn't really see them too much, but you seem to overcome any bumps in the road as we went on. So good job, Musa. And then how did you find your mentor in the program?
In May 2022, I reached out to you at the Ohio Department of Transportation to explore possibilities of finding a mentor that could help guide Road to Finish through its next phase of growth. With the support of Micah and the Ohio and ODOT DBE team, I began a thorough search to find a firm that aligned with our values and vision for the future. After countless hours of research and determination, I identified a private firm whose approach and expertise resonated with us. They became our mentor later that year, and over the course of the mentorship, which concluded this year in August, we focused on specific growth goals. Micah was present in all meetings between Road to Finish and the prime consultant firm, ensuring that the mentorship was aligned with the requirements of the program and that we stayed focused on our development objectives. Together with our mentor, we set and achieved ambitious goals from mastering ODOT compliance procedures to position ourselves for larger opportunities. By the conclusion of the mentorship, we have grown significantly as a company, securing roles as on major projects like the Brent Spence Corridor projects. This experience provided us to be a turning point for Road to Finish, and we owe much of our success to the support and structure provided by ODOT and our mentor.
Thanks, Musa. So what were some of the first things that you learned in the Mentor Protege program to get started?
As a startup company, entering the Mentor Project program was an eye-opening experience. One of the first mentor lessons understanding was the financial intricacies of working with ODOT, particularly learning about the safe harbor rate. Establishing this rate was crucial for us as a small business because it allowed us to operate with a provision overhead rate, which still meets ODOT's requirements. This was a key factor in making sure we could compete for contracts early on without being boggled down by complex audits and paperwork, which would have been very overwhelming for a smaller firm. Another critical realization was the importance of building connection. The Mentor Project introduced us to a broader network from prime consultants to industry experts, opening doors that would have otherwise been out of reach. These relationships helped us gain insights into how larger firms operate and gave us a clear pathway to grow and expand our own business. Most importantly, the program taught us resilience. There were moments when the challenges seemed instrumental, but through perseverance and learning from setbacks, we adapted. We understand that growth doesn't happen overnight, and each lesson, whether from a small administration hurdle or a larger operating challenge, was shaping us into a more capable and competitive firm. As Steve Jobs once said, I'm convinced that half of what separates successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. This mindset has driven us forward as a startup, motivating us to embrace every challenge as a step towards success.
Yeah, Musa, you were on it. I mean, you were always calling me and saying, "Hey, what are we going to do next?" And you're you took very much perseverance and had a lot of resilience in the program and just kept going. And so I'm very proud of your success. You've really done a great job. I've worked with a lot of companies over the years, and I mean, you're up there in the top few that have really done a great job with this program, because it's all in what you make of it. And sometimes people just give up, and you didn't give up. So, but that really concludes the questions that we have. That's all I, basically have to say is, in closing, is that Musa, it's been awesome to work with you, and you've done a great job, and I'm excited to see what you have moving forward. Did you want to say any last words before we conclude, Musa?
Yes, please. Reflecting on our journey, it's clear that success is the result of hard work, strategic partnership, and the willingness to adapt. The support from ODOT through programs like the Mentor Project has provided us with invaluable resources and guidance, helping us grow and thrive as a business. To those starting out, I encourage you to embrace every challenge as an opportunity for growth and to remain focused on your long-term goals. I wanted to express my heartfelt gratitude to ODOT and Micah for this opportunity to speak today and for their unwavering support for small businesses like ours. It's through initiatives like these that firms like Road to Finish can continue to grow and make meaningful contributions. Thank you.
Thank you both. I appreciate it. What a great presentation. I really appreciate you guys getting on here and being so candid and having such a great questions and a great role model and someone who has taken advantage of this program. So I do have a couple follow-up, Micah. So this is for if you are DB certified is when they would reach out to you. So if anyone here that's an audience today that wants to find out more information about the Mentor Protege program, please reach out to your outreach manager. We'll talk a little bit about what the requirements are of becoming DBE certified, and we are that liaison between you and the DBE certification team. Again, Micah or Musa, I have been with you since the beginning as well, and I have great respect for you and being your own advocate for your own business. And it is very hard to start a business and to take advantage of any opportunity that you can. I think it's very important. And also, I would just like to say that even if you are not able to become DB certified, you still have the opportunity to learn from this and take the information that you gained from this one-on-one that Micah and Musa did, and reach out to other companies to see if they would be available to do a mentorship. And just don't think that just because you're not DB certified that you're not able to find mentorship programs out there that's for you, and then finding companies out there that would like to mentor as well. Again, thank you both for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So great job to them both and a great conversation. Now I would like to welcome Vincent Irvin. So he is an apprenticeship coordinator through the Ohio Laborers Training and Apprenticeship Program. So Vincent is chairman at the Ohio State Apprenticeship Council since October 2022 and is a visionary leader in workforce development. Under his guidance, Vincent initiated the implementation of Ohio's first quarterly digital newsletter, promoting consistent communication among apprenticeship sponsors, acknowledging the need for assessing. He also introduced the Ask Us Anything digital chat space within Apprentice Ohio, offering sponsors a direct avenue for inquiries. So great job, Vince. And he's also executed the LIUNA inaugural 4-year career technical education high school curriculum. The LEARN program approved by the state of Ohio in 2022 and currently implemented by Akron Public Schools. This groundbreaking curriculum not only enhances educational opportunities, but also aligns with LIUNA, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, you can correct me, it's a commitment to advancing apprenticeship programs and cultivating the next generation of skilled professionals. So with a robust foundation of over 30 years of experience, Vince currently serves as the Regional Apprenticeship Coordinator for the Ohio Laborers Training and Apprenticeship Trust Fund as a certifying official for Veterans Educational Benefits, bringing the wealth of expertise to a multifaceted role of shaping the future of apprenticeship initiatives in Ohio. I'm going to go ahead and stop my presentation. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Vince.
Thank you, Lorraine, and I'd like to thank ODOT and Lorraine for inviting me to be part of this webinar today for veteran and small businesses. One of the things that we found extremely important and so valuable when we partner or planning on partnering with a school, a faith-based organization, a nonprofit, a DEI program, is that we want to set measurable goals and a timeline for our partnership. And typically, it's a 1-year timeline. We look for organizations, again, where their goals and values match ours. Sometimes those organizations will reach out to us and ask for a meeting, and there are times where we'll reach out to them and ask for a meeting because we notice on their website and their material, or even meeting someone at a conference or a convention, that it appears that our goals and vision align with theirs. So if they're interested, if they become an interested party, we sit down and again, we just identify those values and goals. If they do align with us, if they're wanting to partner with us, we typically go out for a year as a time span, and we sign a memorandum of understanding. So each party will agree and understand what each roles are. And that way we can measure ourselves as we move along. Are the goals achievable? Are they relevant? Are they time-based? And that's helped us tremendously to find great long-lasting partners. There have been times when we've gone and taken this approach where we, the partnership wasn't successful, and keeping a short term of a year memorandum of understanding is so valuable for both entities, or sometimes there could be more than 2, 3, or even 4 organizations working together. So again, what we have learned through this collaboration style is that time is stretched thin for everyone, especially in the areas of recruitment and training, and that we must lean on our partners at a greater rate as ever before. We find ourselves sharing time and talent at greater frequency to provide relief for everyone. As an example, we have a clearinghouse of materials and brochures that our contractors, our apprentices, construction ambassadors, as well as our partners can utilize this clearinghouse of materials as a grab and go. They can take the material if they're going to a high school or to the National Guard or one of the military bases in Ohio. It's readily available. It's quick to pick up and take with you and bring back. So we found that very valuable. Some of the things that we work on together as a group in the modern workforce needs, again, in registered apprenticeship, not many apprentices entering into the craft or the construction industry have prior work experience. Many are from high school, some from prisons, second chance programs. So we spend a lot of time in mentoring and coaching the apprentices for the first 3 years of their apprenticeship. We try to attach a mentor to every apprentice. That might be an instructor, an apprenticeship coordinator, and or a journey person and contractors that will give extra time and attention to the apprentices, answer questions that they might have, even provide positive and negative criticism on their on-the-job training skills. Again, we found that soft skill training is lacking for many of these young apprentices. We rely on our partnerships, for example, Urban League and the Easter Seals, to help with soft skill training prior to entering into the trade. And many times there's even an opportunity for the apprentice to go back and relearn or retrain themselves, train up in the hard and soft skills that will make them become a successful apprentice in our apprenticeship program. Transportation is a key for us in workforce development, especially working with a younger group of apprentices. Used cars are very expensive. Maintenance and just the normal wear and tear of the vehicles. So we try to look for partners, garages and mechanics within the apprenticeship program that might be able to have a reduced rate, an hourly rate for tires, batteries, and just light maintenance of cars. And we stress vehicle maintenance while they're in a construction class. And does that go together? We believe that it does. That extra time and education spent on how to properly maintain your vehicle while you're in the apprenticeship program, we find that very valuable. We find that many apprentices have never checked the oil in a car before, don't know how to do that, not really sure how to check their even their tire pressure. So we spend a little extra time just going over the basic things like that. And most apprentices really appreciate it. They always learn and pick up something through that process. Clear work expectations, that's something we work really closely with our contractors. We have around 1,300 contractors in the state of Ohio that utilize our registered apprenticeship program. So we're constantly surveying and providing evaluations for our employees to give employers, I should say, to give feedback on the employees. So if we find a deficiency in whatever area it may be, whether it's hands-on, soft skills, hard skills, transportation, we're able to correct these before it gets out of hand and becomes a disciplinary matter. And when it comes to clear pay expectations, again, what we believe in registered apprenticeship, and one of the great benefits of having a registered apprenticeship for a small business and or large business is the apprenticeship agreement. It clearly specifies in detail what that apprentice is going to make as a freshman or first year apprentice. And it also specifies very clearly from a sophomore to a junior to a senior level and prior to topping out or graduating from the program. So the contractor knows what they need to pay the apprentice. The apprentice knows what his or her pay will be And even when the pay raises are coming towards them or due, and it helps the apprentice plan for a future as well, whether it's paying rent or purchasing things for their vehicle or for their home. They can the apprenticeship agreement indicates, for example, maybe in 6 months they're due a $2.85 an hour pay increase, and they can plan accordingly to that pay expectation. Financial management, that is built into most of our classes at our training center, and some of our contractors offer financial literacy training for their employees, but we offer that for our apprentices and journeymen. Again, we believe that the pay is really good in the apprenticeship program. It's a high pay scale. However, if you spend it all and don't save for the rainy day, don't have an emergency fund, maybe pay down bills and things like that, most apprentices do not understand financial literacy. So we spend extra time in that regard, and we believe it's paid off tremendously in being able to retain our workforce. How employment partners fill the gaps. Some of the things that we work on is pre-apprenticeship training. Micah can speak about this as well, but we formed a new pre-apprenticeship program in the Cincinnati area. It's called the Urban League. It's an adult pre-apprenticeship training program. Again, this type or style of partnership is critical for small business to partner with a pre-apprenticeship or a school that offers pre-apprenticeship, and let them know what your needs are, what your skill sets are, what your soft skill, hard skills needs are, and they can plan curriculum and plan accordingly and feed you and create a funnel of applicants and new people into your workforce. We also found funding for supplies. We have to think outside the box and sometimes make the box bigger and find streams of revenue to help fund pre-apprenticeship programs. Our organization, LIUNA, the Labor's International Union of North America, ODOT, Easter Seals, Job Corps, there are partnership grants and initiatives such as that help pay for boots and toolkits and gas cards and things like that while the students are going through a pre-apprenticeship program. Connections to qualified workers, again, that's ultimately our goal with establishing a relationship such as a pre-apprenticeship program, is it creates a solid lead for new construction apprentices in all the trades, including ours. They do the hard work for us for the trades, the pre-apprenticeship programs such as the Urban League. They spend countless hours interviewing, testing, drug testing, assessments, and to find the very best candidates for the pre-apprenticeship program. That saves us a lot of time. It saves all of us a lot of time, especially in retention and the recruitment area. Connections to veterans and diverse candidates. Again, as a certifying official for veteran benefits in Ohio, we administer the post 9/11 GI Bill on behalf of the veteran. So our employers can bring in a new veteran apprentice at 60% pay scale or freshman level. And if the veteran would like to use his post 9/11 GI Bill, it's an additional stipend per month. And in our organization, our craft, it's around $1,600 a month in extra income. They also receive a stipend, an annual stipend for their books. So it equates to around $30,000 in extra income while they're going through our registered apprenticeship program. Most veteran apprentices and the National Guard, they want to utilize those benefits, so we're happy to do the paperwork on behalf of the veteran and the contractor. Again, we have a great relationship with the National Guard throughout Ohio. We try to attend as many events with them on Saturdays in the evenings to get the word out, so to speak, about our trade, and other organizations, planning field days, field trips, job skill training, training center visits with the veterans and the National Guard. I'm trying to advance my slide. Okay, there we go. Employment partners. Again, our national organization, LIUNA, they help us tremendously, and the regional offices as well when it comes to pre-apprenticeship programs or partners, helping us establish those relationships. We also partner with Building Futures in Cincinnati and Cleveland and Columbus. I can attest to Ohio Means Jobs being a valuable resource for small businesses. We like all the resources that are available, meaning we can create an account, we can log in, we can search for applicants that have construction experience, military experience, second chance programs, and the like. They will also help promote our apprenticeship program and our organization through career fairs and postings on Facebook and social media. Again, I mentioned the Urban League and Building Futures. We have a good working relationship with that national organization. Toledo, Cincinnati, Youngstown, Warren, and Columbus all have very robust Urban League chapters, and we have a steady working relationship with that organization. Helmets to hard hats, I mentioned that before, the post 9/11 GI Bill, but the Helmets to Hard Hats is a national database, and it's for veterans who are leaving and transitioning out of the military and are looking for a career in the trades. So if John is leaving the Marine Corps in San Diego, California, he can submit his resume on the Helmets to Hard Hats website, and we'll get that information back in Ohio. And many times we can do a phone interview, Facebook interview, Zoom type meeting, even prior to them leaving the military, and get in place with a contractor when they are physically back in Ohio. So that's what Helmets to Hard Hats. It's a national database, again, where veterans can submit a resume looking for opportunities in the trades. Local union offices, there's 22 local union offices throughout the state of Ohio. We work closely with all of those offices on a weekly, daily, monthly basis when it comes to recruitment needs and helping the small contractors be successful and grow, prosper, and to expand. The Ohio National Guard units, again, we partner and collaborate with them quite regularly on outreach events, spreading the word about opportunities and openings within Ohio's construction industry. Job Corps, federal program. There's a large training center in Cleveland, Ohio. They train young men and women on campus, not only in the construction trades, but manufacturing, healthcare, IT. It's a great, robust program. They have a high graduation rate and a very nice retention rate as well. So Ohio Job Corps, DOL Job Corps is a great partnership if you're looking for a great collaboration in building and expanding your workforce. Again, our pre-apprenticeship programs, again, our contractors find that extremely valuable, that the pre-apprenticeship programs and us do a lot of the heavy lifting before they begin employment. And I would encourage small businesses to think about establishing a pre-apprenticeship training program to where your potential or future employees will learn the soft skills and hard skills even before day one. It's been a tremendous asset for us. And to be honest with you, we wouldn't be as successful as we are without those pre-apprenticeship collaborations. They do a great work for us, and they provide wraparound services, supportive services, again, with mentoring and coaching and financial literacy and evaluations. Those are things that small businesses and large businesses really appreciate, again, because time is the essence for everyone. And they do such a great job of taking care of those needs for us. I can't say enough about establishing a pre-apprenticeship program for even small businesses. I think it would be even more critical for a small business to have a partnership such as a pre-apprenticeship program. So I like to just share some of the highlights of some pre-apprenticeship programs that we have ongoing in Ohio for the trades, and I believe they also could fit nicely with a small business model where there's a weekly stipend provided for the students while they're going through the training. It helps tremendously with retaining that class, that cohort. Many of them have a day job per se, but they're looking to better themselves or find a career in the trades. And we have found that extremely valuable, that we can provide them a small weekly stipend in addition to their weekly paycheck to keep them interested, keep them vested into the classroom. In addition to that, one of the things that we sign off on as a memorandum of understanding, that when the graduates or that cohort completes their training, that they have direct entry into our trades. So they can go right to work for this, our signatory contractors, without being placed on a waiting list. Again, preparing for diverse groups for skills and requirements. There's a lot of goals on construction projects and in the construction industry for diversity goals, DEI goals, and pre-apprenticeship programs are invaluable when it comes to finding and recruiting and selecting a diverse group of applicants for a particular class, upcoming class. It helps everyone out. It helps apprenticeship programs reach their goals. It helps contractors reach their goals. And ultimately, we're changing lives and providing great career pathways for those that might be underserved. Again, here's a list of some of the Building Future programs in Ohio, Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, and Cleveland. We have many more. Of course, the Job Corps, Easter Seals, helmets to hard hats, the National Guard. We have many partners throughout the state of Ohio that we collaborate with on a constant basis. Ohio Means Jobs, I mentioned that earlier, and I'd like to talk a little bit more about that, on what they can do for a small business. If you're not familiar with it, I would encourage you to schedule a time or a meeting, an appointment with someone, a service provider from Ohio Means Jobs. We find their talent and resources for our program and our industry. It's invaluable to have that type of relationship. We can search for active resumes. We can ask them to search for resumes for us. We give them our key indicators, what we're looking for, and what the employer's looking for, and they'll go to work for us and on our behalf. That time and talent that we would normally have to spend ourselves by using Ohio Means Jobs and their supportive services, we can use that time that would be spent searching resumes. We can, do something else. We find that very helpful and extremely valuable. Again, we partner with them throughout the state of Ohio. Every county has at least one office, if not more than one. So there's a tremendous amount of time and talent to help building your workforce. And we've also found Ohio Means Jobs will help us procure funding solutions for certain projects. We were up in Lorain County not that long ago, and the employers, construction employers in that area, there was a need for almost an emergency type situation for workforce, and we work closely with that local office. Not only did they help us search the active resumes, they provided billboards, promotion of the industry on the local billboards, radio, newspapers, the schools. So they carried a lot of the weight for us, which helped us tremendously throughout that program. Urban League is a trusted, community-driven organization that seeks to empower Black and underrepresented groups through economic, educational, and social programs. Again, job training, applicant connections, soft skill training. There's, again, a weekly stipend through the Urban League. I can't say enough about this partnership with the Urban League. They've been a true blessing for our industry, construction industry in Ohio, and they work tirelessly for everyone who they partner with. They really go over and beyond to get results. Again, Helmets to Hard Hats, a great national program. Small businesses can utilize that website and find talent and partner with Helmets to Hard Hats to make sure these veterans who are transitioning back to Ohio can find gainful employment. Again, I have a couple slides here from Helmets to Hard Hats indicating as veterans transition out of the military on where they land, so to speak, where they come back home. And you can see Ohio is number 3 on the list for veterans that are transitioning and that have found careers in the construction trades in Ohio. This is a 2023 chart. Traditionally, Ohio is in the top 3 over the last 10 years or so, and veterans wanting to come to Ohio and work in the construction industry. And we also believe that one of the reasons Ohio and Illinois and California is so attractive is that the union wages and benefits and fringes that are paid to the veteran, top wages, top benefits, top pensions, and top security while they're learning a craft. So we have great results, great numbers with veterans seeking union construction employment and signatory contractor employment. Again, our local union offices that work in collaboration with all the contractors throughout the state of Ohio, our partnerships, the apprenticeship and training programs. They require and provide the signatory contractors a skilled workforce, leading industry training, applicants and apprentices available, and a strong relationship that help the businesses grow. So I think I need to go back the slide. And thank you for your time today. Does anyone have any questions for me, Lorraine?
As of right now, there are no questions for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lorraine.
Yep, thank you, Vince. Thank you, Kara. And we can kind of just put a stopping point here. If they have questions, Kara, can you direct them where they would go to add the questions? Would it be in their chat, or where would those questions be located at, and where they can put those at?
So there is a chat area and there is a questions area. So they would just need to click on the arrow on the left to drop down the questions box, and they can enter the questions there.
And we
And
will
I will see them and I would pass them on.
Thank you, Kara. And
Yeah, my pleasure.
once we get sorry, yeah, once we get done totally with this whole series, we'll go ahead and open up for questions again. Now that you know where those are, please, if you have any questions, please do so there where Kara directed. So now I would like to introduce you to Andrew. Andrew Opsenik is as the district construction engineer overseeing District 6 construction program, and currently valued at over $1 billion in active projects. So the District 6 program is the largest in the state, featuring multiple complex interchange and major rehabilitation programs, along with numerous preservation projects throughout the 8 county districts. So notable projects can include the Big Build Columbus ramp up, valued over $343 million, followed closely by the Phase 4R6R project, valued at over $280 million. So in the heart of downtown Columbus, reconstructing I-70 and 71 interstates. Andrew, I'm going to go ahead and give you access to the slides if you want to just go ahead and take it away.
Okay, thanks, Lorraine, and good afternoon, everyone. So this afternoon, I wanted to talk to you, kind of build upon the presenters you've already heard this afternoon about more ways to develop good relationships with prime contractors in our construction industry. As a whole, I want to talk briefly about just the state of our industry in general. If you're not aware, there is an overall shortage of workforce out there right now. So in the state of Ohio, in 2023, Ohio had the 5th most construction workers of any state in the US. That was according to some national statistics. More recently, in 2024, the Labor Department reported that 129,000 construction job openings were out there to be had. What does that mean for ODOT and the projects we do? What it can lead to is that some of our projects can take longer than what we anticipate, and could lead to higher costs too. If prime contractors are struggling to find qualified workers, that's more risk for them and can lead to higher costs that ODOT has to pay for these projects that we're constructing. Also too, as a nation, there's been an increased infrastructure funding the past several years with the latest federal bill. There's also, as an industry, these pending retirement age workers where there's going to be holes to fill. The labor market, especially on the contractor side, they're experiencing that as well. And at the end of the day, they need help to fulfill these roles. Our infrastructure currently, we talked a little bit, Lorraine in my introduction talked about the projects we're doing downtown here in Columbus. We're not alone here, just in Columbus, around the state of Ohio even. There's plenty of other needed projects that need to be done, where the infrastructure, the interstate system itself, originally built in the 50s and the 60s, is kind of at its end of its useful life. And that's requiring these, major rehabilitation projects to rebuild, the interstate and the roads and bridges associated with that. In Ohio, a recent workforce survey noted that 85% of the companies they talked to reported having needs, and 94% of them, noted that they have a hard time filling some or all positions. Example I can state is think about just carpenters. We've heard from some of our contractors that in the central Ohio region here, carpenters are very hard to come by right now. They're in high demand. ODOT has a lot of road work going on, but we're not the only industry using carpenters. We use it for typically for bridge work. But you can go on OSU's campus, Ohio State. They're building a new hospital. They also need carpenter work. So there's a lot of competition for these skilled workers. And so just overall, with the shortage of workforce overall, everybody's kind of fighting for the same people. So you've heard of some different resources. Vince mentioned a bunch here in his presentation, but one I wanted to highlight too is the I Build America campaign. I've got the website noted there. That's actually the Ohio version. There's also a national version at ibuildamerica.com. Many of our prime contractors that typically work in Ohio are sponsors of this campaign. Some are actually original founding members. This campaign, it's an overall mission to kind of help represent not just Ohio, but nationwide, the construction industry as a whole, trying to create partnerships with local contractors, different organizations, a campaign that really tries to push the notion that construction work is valuable work. You can create a very rewarding career being in the construction industry. And they try to promote that in different ways. Here in Central Ohio, they kind of serve as a central location online to link some of the local contractors with potential employees and other contractors, whether that be prime contractors or small firms such as maybe yourselves. Part of it is just gaining those, trying to find those employees out there. So we do encourage you to get involved with a campaign like this, or maybe similar organizations. Finch just had a whole bunch on his presentation on some really good ones there too. So I want to talk a little bit about just being ready. What does that mean? Another organization I encourage folks to reach out to is Ohio Contractors Association. This is an organization that ODOT deals with regularly. We interact with them frequently. I have a monthly meeting with my counterparts around the state, and we have a representative from Ohio Contractors Association there every month. That keeps us and helps him, our representative, to be able to inform different contractors, large or small, of things that are happening on the ODOT side. All of our major prime contractors in Ohio are members of that organization, and they interact with them frequently. So that's a good place to reach out to. Maybe as a firm, you may consider becoming a member of Ohio Contractors Association. It's more exposure to you, helps you get out there, helps other prime contractors know that you exist, and some of the services that you can provide to them. One of the biggest ones, and I want to really emphasize this, is attend sponsored matchmaker events. You recall earlier, Musa was talking about how his firm attended the one for the Brent Spence corridor. These are huge for getting yourself out there and letting prime contractors know who you are. Lorraine's office, ODI, sometimes they will typically host these. Like Musa said, for our larger projects. There are other industry partners who will hold similar type events. Now, some of it may be maybe a little intimidating because it's almost like a virtual interview, if you will, but be confident in your firm. Like I said, prime contractors are looking for help. These are great ways for you to get out there, let them know you exist, let them know what work you do, your firm does, and what you're actually interested in. Many of our prime contractors that I talk to, they regularly do work with small businesses, but they actually have to know you're out there and wanting to help them. So when you go to these events, and as you kind of think through this, ask yourself, what skills or specific trades is your firm an expert at? What are you trying to do? Prime contractors wanted to know that. If your expertise is in concrete sealing, epoxy urethane sealing, great. There's definitely a need for that, but they need to know that, hey, when we have our next project, we might be bidding. We'll want to reach out to your firm to see maybe what your quote would be for that type of work. And kind of expand on, kind of what Vince was talking about is, are your employees trained and ready to go? Typically in our industry here with ODOT, prime contractors, they bid quite a bit of work on a regular basis. But anymore, once a prime contractor is awarded a project for ODOT, things typically move fast. They like to be under contract typically within a month, and some of our projects, with our aggressive scheduling, we're kind of expecting prime contractors to be ready to go and start working within a month, month and a half, have a pre-con ready to go. So having those relationships ahead of time with a prime contractor is going to be a game changer for you. That way, when they win that contract, you're already ready to go, and they can reach out to you to kind of get the ball rolling, and then start actually going to work for them. Another thing that, when I talk to our contractors, the ones we typically work with, something they emphasize is understanding the scope of work. This is a critical one. So prime contractors are willing to help. However, as with most things, time is money. And with most of our contractors already feeling the pressure of being understaffed, they may not have the excess time to dedicate to your firm to explain the scope of work in detail. So for example, going back to let's say your firm does epoxy urethane sealing for concrete. Understanding the scope is critical, right? So let's say an example of, and I'll use our downtown projects here in Columbus as an example. We're building some pretty large bridges that have very tall piers. Some of the piers, the current bridge we're working on downtown Columbus, are 90 to 100 feet tall. So as a subcontractor who may be doing epoxy urethane sealing, if your expectation is I'm good to seal a bridge pier, that's great. But if your expectation is just that it's just a typical highway overpass that maybe is only 15, 16 feet tall, that's a little bit different than if you would be expected to come out and seal concrete for a pier that may be 90 to 100 feet tall. That's a completely different idea there. So just understanding what the scope of work is will go a long way into helping you be successful as an organization. Be confident in your firm's ability to do the work per specification. So for ODOT as the owner, my job and the job of my staff is to ensure that the work is done to specification. That's our duty as the owner. It's our responsibility to the traveling public as well to build roads and bridges that meet our specifications and are safe for everyone. And we have a contract with prime contractors, not with subcontractors. So a prime contractor is in a unique position where we have a contract with them. They're administering the project. We're with them, but so a subcontractor, you will be answering to the prime contractor. So as ODOT, if we have an issue, we would be going to the prime contractor. As a sub, a prime contractor wants to ensure you understand your work, you can do the work per specifications, and that they don't have to go back, have you redo work, because that adds extra costs for everyone involved. Yeah, using your resources, I will tout ODOT's website as a great source of information. I've got a link here for the Construction Reference Resource Center. So on this is a plethora of information. You can find specifications, standard drawings. We have manual procedures. These documents are great. What would be expected for you as a subcontractor doing the work? These are the things that ODOT uses to enforce the specifications. So doing your homework here, I think, would go a long way. That way, when a prime contractor is coming to you for that work, you're ready to go. They don't have to worry about you as a company not being able to perform where they're expecting you to. And having that relationship with a prime contractor is also critical as well, because certain aspects of work depend on a particular project. You know, a project here in downtown Columbus has different expectations, different requirements than a job maybe in northern Morrow County, for example. You know, sometimes a prime contractor could tell you ahead of time some of the particulars of a project that may affect how you would attack the work. You know, maybe the work has to be done at night. Maybe there's additional safety precautions that your company would have to take. Or will there be lane closures associated with that work that you'll have to work under? There's a big difference in working behind barrels in a lane closure versus working, you know, kind of off-site behind barrier and whatnot. So these are specifics that if you have a good relationship with a prime contractor, one you work with, this can be critical for you to be successful as well. That's all I had this afternoon, and I do appreciate your time. Lorraine, I will turn it back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. Great presentation. It's just in lining with the theme that we have today. So I definitely appreciate everything that you shared there. Building the right team is so important. And then mentorship and going out and building those partnerships. Some great information there, so I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to, if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and move over to Tom Gannett. So Tom is a partner with the Columbus law firm. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera on because this is going to be a panel discussion. I'm going to be speaking with Tom about building a team of advisors. So let me go ahead and get the introduction out. So Tom is a partner with the Columbus law firm of Kegler, Brown and Hill and Ritter, where he began working in the early 2021 after retiring with over 32 years of government service while at ODOT. So Tom worked as an engineer, attorney, and manager. He managed the MPE, DBE, EDGE, outreach, wow, and supportive service programs for several years and finished his career as administrator of the Office of Contract Sales and Estimating. So Tom also served as the Assistant Attorney General representing ODOT and has worked for both the City of Marion and Hilliard. Tom practices government law. Tom is a frequent presenter on engineering ethics and regularly speaks with and represents small minority and women-owned businesses. Thanks, Tom, for joining us. So today we're going to talk a little bit about building that team of advisors on the legal standpoint. And just so you know, the audience is aware, there's other crucial advisors to consider as well, such as financial advisors, business mentors, building strong relationships, again, what we've already reiterated on our sessions we have today, getting an industry expert, and those are just to name a few. So Tom, would you like to introduce yourself, just give yourself a little bit of background information about who you are and kind of what you do right now?
Absolutely. So thanks, Lorraine. Thanks for inviting me to this session. So yeah, I've been an attorney since 1999 and an engineer since 1997 and worked with ODOT in those early years and throughout my career as it sort of evolved into some of these more discrete programs like the small business and veteran-friendly business programs. And it's been fun to watch and participate in to the extent that I did while I was there. And I represent small businesses, minority-owned businesses, and women-owned businesses that either are trying to be successful or have issues with their certifications. One of the things I do is I deal with licensing agencies when people have their certifications challenged. So, and I will defend them. And when I was at ODOT, I actually dealt with them as well, even though rarely is there a conflict with ODOT. It's usually like some of the local governments or DAS. So right now, what I'm doing today, I was just looking at a construction contract for a client. I'm going to be working on my ethics presentation for OTEC, and I represent some transportation improvement districts that I'm going to be talking to about contracts to do transportation work. I've not left the transportation world since I retired from ODOT in 2021. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that, Lorraine, I assume you wanted me to come and talk here, because not only have I experienced when I was at the government, but also experience working now on the private side, helping small businesses and be successful. What I heard today, and I wish I would have had time to listen to some of the other presentations, because I'm sure they were very helpful and excellent, is that people need people like me. Well, small businesses need people like me and the other supportive services like accountants and insurance, things like that, both before the people you heard today talk, and after, if you get into trouble. Before, because you really can't start too early talking to financial advisors, because you're going to need capital for your business. You can't start too early talking with lawyers, because you're going to need people to help you set up the company, whether it's sole proprietor, an LLC, a corporation. All those early conversations help with the tax consequences, help with how the business has to be structured. You want attorneys to help out with your employment contracts, and you're going to want them eventually to help you review the contracts you get involved with when you start doing work. So we are the people you probably should be talking to even before you start a business. One of the things I do as well, I'm consistently out speaking to folks in the industry, is talking to those who want to start doing these businesses in the future. And just as a mentor or a friend or a casual conversation, because there's a lot of people out there like me and like Micah and like Andrew and folks that are at ODOT in the industry, who are just happy to share their experience and converse. Happy to talk about, you don't have to hire us, to pay us. We like to see other people be successful, because for sure our industry in Ohio is hurting for people to do work, as Andrew said, and also needs experienced people and trusted people that are going to be, building our roads and building our bridges and doing all the stuff that ODOT does. So, you'll have all of our contact information, I'm sure, when we're done with this presentation. Call us if you just have questions you want to talk. I'm advising people now that are going to probably retire a year or two from government, and they want to know, what can I do to prepare? Because I want to stay in the industry and I want to stay working. And that's what I did. For about 2-3 years before I retired, I had multiple conversations with people in the private industry and other government entities to say, what do you do to be successful? And just those conversations are just incredibly important. And I've not found one person who didn't want to help.
Thank you, Tom. So yes, well said. So I'd like to go ahead and get started in with a panel discussion. So I'd like to ask about the origin of the Veteran-Friendly Business Enterprise, the VFBE program. Could you share with us when the program was first created and provide some background on the development?
Yeah, sure. So this program was created, I want to say it was during the, I think it was the Kasich administration. And, we've had the other programs, the Small Business Administration Program, the Women-Owned Business Program, the DBEs, MBEs. They existed in some forms in other layers of government. But the VFBE program was new, and actually was kind of cut from whole cloth by some veteran advocates who actually got in front of the General Assembly and said, we need this law. We need the law because we have these other groups that have sort of protected procurement opportunities, protected contracting opportunities, and we have nothing for our veterans. So interestingly, I was one of the legal counsel at ODOT at the time, and we kind of found out that was introduced into law, and it became law pretty darn quick. And there's actually multiple versions of this law because the initial law was drafted in a sort of a confusing way. And so they went back and redrafted it and then gave us the authority to create administrative code to enforce it. So what the law talked about at the time when I was there, and what we fashioned it, was to have the Department of Administrative Services at the time, now Department of Development, I believe, do the certifications for the Veteran-Friendly Business Enterprise. It was also supposed to be sort of a protected bidding sort of procurement regulation that allowed veterans to, if they didn't get an advantage on a bid, or they actually would get an advantage on the bid by having their overall bid be lowered. And there's some controversy in the beginning because there was concern that there would be too much, I guess, too many veterans businesses would be brought into the mix. It was also a little bit confusing how the people would get certified. And so it evolved into something that's helpful, but I don't know, I feel certain that not as many people take advantage of the regulation as could be because it applies to construction, it applies to consultant services, and it applies to procurement. And so there's a lot of avenues for people to, for veteran-friendly businesses, once you get your certification, and you can be certified in based on how many people work there or how many the ownership's interest. There are opportunities out there that I don't think they're taking advantage of. And the other thing I found, and again, this is just my experience with government generally, is people like Micah, people like Lorraine, they want to be helpful. So if you look at the program and say, hey, I think I could probably do this work, or there's a product out there that I could provide, would you consider maybe a veteran-friendly bid? And people will do that. They'll say, okay, this is something that we should make open to veterans. Department of Development and ODOT are the big sellers of supplies and services, the people that you want to contract with. And so they are open to new ideas. It's been, at least was my experience when I was there.
Oh, I totally agree. Definitely. Thank you for that, Tom. So what are some common mistakes small businesses make when assembling a professional team?
Well, a common mistake that I've seen and when I've seen them fail is too much too soon, and just basically being too aggressive and not being prepared. There is a lot of work out there, and there are a lot of opportunities for businesses that have these certifications, whether they're small businesses or not, veteran friendly, DBE, MBE, and sometimes their eyes, get bigger than their stomach type of thing, and they get too aggressive, and then they aren't able to perform. So my first advice to any business is definitely come up with a plan, come up with probably a 6-month, 3-year, 5-year plan, and be realistic about what you can achieve. And secondly, the other thing is, to get your advisors and talk to people that are in the industry. I am a lawyer, but I would not advise anyone on like wills, trusts, and estates. Just because I'm a lawyer doesn't mean that I know certain things about the law, patent law, criminal law. Don't ask me. But there are firms like my firm that has a breadth and depth that I would be able to say, okay, if you have a question about wills, trusts, and estates, talk to Bill, talk to Chuck, or whatever. So find those groups that either specialize in what you want to do or that are big enough that they can sort of overlap the work that you need to have done for small businesses. So for instance, again, I represent businesses in front of licensing agencies. I advocate for businesses, and I do different things, but I don't set them up. There are other people in my firm who would set up a small business and get you registered. And also, getting the right team in place as early as possible will really help you navigate what could potentially be troubled waters. So just on the insurance side, on the finance side, on the where you're going to keep your business, lease side, your equipment side, obviously your legal side. There's lots of nuances to running a small business, and it takes guts. It takes a lot of wherewithal. I envy those people who do it. I don't think I could do it, but it takes courage to be a small business owner, and not just in this climate, in every economic climate, it always has. So use that courage wisely, and don't overextend yourself, and make sure you bring your team on early and make sure that they know what they're doing and make sure that they're thorough. Don't just rely on your cousin Eddie, who's a lawyer. Find the ones that know their business.
And those kind of lead us into our next two questions, Tom. So the key qualities to look for when selecting a legal advisor, what would those be?
Bald would probably be the first quality. You're not laughing. No, yeah, people who are experienced in the industry, I would say, there are a lot of lawyers out there. You can't swing a cat in Columbus and not hit a lawyer. We're kind of lousy with them here, but there are a lot of ones that are extremely experienced. So I would find first, I would look for the ones that are experienced, and then I would find the ones that fit your economic model. There's work that my firm turns down because we're just too expensive, and I have lots of other people that I refer to. And there are a lot of other firms in town that are significantly more expensive than we are. So, you know, you need to find someone both that can do what you want to do and do it in a way that's not going to break your bank, and be realistic about them. Lawyers, being a lawyer is just a business as well. So we negotiate contracts. My rates are all over the place, quite frankly. And a lot of times what I will do is if I have a new client, I'll kind of start them out at a lower rate because I want to help them succeed, anticipating hopefully that they are successful, and then they'll eventually, you know, pay me more. So don't be afraid when you talk to your legal counsel or any advisor to, just like what you do with any other business or any other customer, negotiate your terms with them, negotiate their price.
Great advice, great advice. So I know you talked a little bit about it in one of the following questions, but what stage? I know you talked a little bit about the beginning of the stage, but or the beginning of your business, but what stage should you consult an attorney or a lawyer, and how often should they engage with them?
Yeah, right at the beginning, right when you're ready for, well, before you're ready to even form a business, because your legal advisor can tell you what type of business to form. So, you know, there's a difference between a partnership and an LLC. There's a difference between a corporation and an S corp. There's a difference between a sole proprietorship and a partnership. They have tax consequences, and you know, it depends on if you want to hire someone or you want to work as a just like a sole proprietor and be a consultant. You're going to need to lease space. You're going to need to lease equipment. You know, your lawyer should be looking at those contracts unless they're so standard. You're getting something from Sunbelt and you're not going to change the terms anyway. But you really can't start early enough, because if nothing else, they can advise you to, especially ones that are, you know, understand business law, and this particular industry that we're in right now, and you're talking through with ODOT and other transportation industries. It's nuanced, it's different. You know, there's a lot of work out there, but there's a lot of pitfalls as well. So I would definitely say bring them on as early as you possibly can, even in the beginning concept. One of the things that we've seen with businesses as they get out there and they get going and they have some intellectual property that has value and they don't even know it. So lawyers will protect your intellectual property, whether it's just a trademark or a business name. Nowadays, the federal government has created additional regulations for filing businesses and maintaining business records. So you're going to have to you should get a legal advisor to help you out with that. So yeah, as I say, you can't do it early enough. But at the same time, a lot of people like me who want to help small businesses will do it on the cheap, do it for free, give you some direction rather than before you hire us. So, you know, don't be afraid to make a phone call. It's not going to cost you anything.
Well, thank you, Tom. Great advice. I really appreciate it. I want to open up the floor now to see if there's any questions for Tom and your journey of and your entrepreneur journey and building the right team. I want to give a few minutes just to see if there's any questions, and just to see how maybe Tom can give you some advice, or, you know, we're definitely going to send out some contact information, so you'll definitely be able to contact him as well. Kara?
Yes, thank you, Tom and Lorraine, for that very impressive interview. We do not have any questions as of yet.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing I want to share that, you know, in 2 weeks, or when OTEC's coming up, roughly 2 weeks, there will be a huge event. Did you guys talk about OTEC at any of your other sessions?
Not yet, but it will be on my next slide, Tom.
Oh, okay. Well, it is a great networking event. It's only a couple $100 to go to. There will be 4,000 people there in our industry. You can't beat it. It's in downtown Columbus. I'll be there. I'll be speaking there at a couple different sessions. But that is a great place just to meet people and get a sense of, you know, what's going on in our world. And I'm sure Lorraine will be there. 2/3 of ODOT will be there. Tons of local government people will be there. Every person in the industry is there, on the construction side, on the consultant side, on the design side, on the product side. There's also sort of a handful of researchers there, which is some interesting information. So I highly recommend it. And it's a rare opportunity. It's coming up October 8th.
Yeah, and it's a great place to, you know, create those those communications and conversations and,
Yep.
and for introductions. So definitely thank you, Tom. I really appreciate you talking a little bit about OTAC. I'm going to go ahead and final out this presentation. So thank you all for attending the Veteran and Small Owned Business webinar, the 4-part series. So we trust that the insights shared in these sessions have empowered you and your business for all business endeavors. So in the coming days, we'll be sending out a survey to all registered attendees along with a recording and PowerPoints. So your feedback is crucial for us to gauge the effectiveness of this session. In supporting your small and veteran-owned businesses, it's through your input that we can continue to enhance and address the need of businesses like yours. So I'd like to take a moment to thank you and thank our speakers for the valuable contributions and for sharing their expertise throughout the series. We appreciate their time and commitment to help veteran and small business out there succeed. So I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that this event was made possible through a partnership between the Ohio Department of Transportation and VetBiz Central. We truly appreciate their collaboration and support in making this series a success. And we are steadfast in our commitment to collaborating with veterans, disadvantaged, minority, and women-owned businesses, providing resources, updates, certification, mentorships, and more. So please anticipate our forthcoming events, which is accessible on our website through the QR code. And then, like Tom said, we have ODOT has big events throughout the year. You can locate those just by typing in ODOT and OTAC, OTEC. That'll take you to that link to register there as well. I'm going to leave this up for a few more minutes so you guys have the opportunity to get a copy of this QR code. This is going to take you directly to the Office of Outreach's page, where you can look at all of our upcoming webinar series, in-person events, and I look forward to speaking with you all soon. Thank you. Kara, if you could just give it a few more minutes, and then we can open up for any questions as well.
Thank you, Lorraine. That's wonderful. As of right now, we don't have any questions, but absolutely, I'll just keep it open just for a few more moments, just to make sure that if someone comes up with a good question, we don't miss that.
Yeah, and once more, we express our appreciation to all the attendees for their time, wishing you a productive remainder of your day.
Absolutely.
Kara, we can close now. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Great, Lorraine. Goodbye.
Bye.